We've all been in it, but how do we get out of it? Stick around and I'm going to show you how to hit it better from the rough. So when it comes to hitting shots out of the rough, there's a few things we have to take into consideration before we hit that shot. You know, when we're hitting out of the rough here, sometimes the ball can nestle down below the blades of the grass quite a bit. And when that happens, number one, it's going to affect the trajectory. Number two, it's going to affect the direction to which the ball travels. And number three, it's going to affect the roll to the ball once it hits the ground. Okay, so if your ball is sitting down, number one, you can count on that it's going to come out lower. The trajectory is going to be lower. So when it comes out lower, the first adjustment that I'm going to make is I'm going to select a golf club that has more loft. So for this shot, I went from a 9-iron down to a pitching wedge. Number two, the direction in which the ball travels. Okay, well, if my ball is sitting down in the rough, there's a greater chance that all the blades of the grass are going to wrap around the hosel of the club right here, and they're going to turn the toe of the club over. Or for a right-handed golfer, it's going to close down the club. It's going to turn the club head to the left. So I can anticipate this ball coming out more left than I ever thought I would hit coming out of the fairway. Number three is the roll to the ball once it hits the ground. When it's tougher, I should say, to create very clean club-on ball contact, when you can't quite use the grooves to the golf club to create spin, it's going to come out with a lot more roll. So I know once it hits the ground, it's going to roll a lot farther. Okay, so it's going to come out lower, it's going to come out left, and it's going to come out with a lot more roll. So that's what you need to take into consideration when selecting a club for this shot. So the two tips that I have for you today for hitting this shot, number one is ball position. In order to create a very clean or cleaner contact on the ball, the goal is to try to come down with a very sharp angle of attack or a very vertical steep swing into the ground. And to help do that, number one, we're going to move the ball position a little bit farther back in the stance. So you're going to go from middle to just back of middle for this shot. Okay. Number two, and the most important thing here today, is to think about standing it up. And what do I mean by that? Well, when I take the club back, I'm thinking about the golf shaft here. I'm thinking about standing the golf shaft up as vertical and as quickly as I can to the ground. So you can see here I have a T in the bottom of my grip right there. So that's a good visual for you. Okay, when I take this back, I want to stand this golf shaft up as soon as I can, and I want to point the tee at the ground as quickly as possible. That is going to help you to create a very steep angle of attack to help you get down underneath the level, the bottom of that golf ball, to help pop that ball up and get that rolling. Okay, so just remember, take those adjustments into consideration, the trajectory, the direction, and the roll. And once you have your club selected, go ahead and put that ball position a little bit farther back and just think about standing the club shaft up, and you're going to find yourself getting that ball out of the rough a lot easier.